as you can probably tell. Some other things have changed. Josh and Rosa and I are doing a little nomadic adventure for a while, and we've had a lovely week so far. We left Seattle on Wednesday, and gosh, it's only Sunday as I'm plugging this, so it hasn't even been a full week yet, but it feels like it has been. And we've been meandering around, camping out in a few different places. Right now, today we stayed last night in a place called Frenchman Coulee, which, if you've ever heard of the Gorge, like a famous amphitheater concert venue, it's very, very close, like within a few miles of here. It's also a really popular rock climbing place. We saw a woman getting a lesson yesterday, and even though we weren't close to her really, or to the instructor, the acoustics are so amazing. We could hear every word they were saying. It was kind of cool. There are a ton of campers out here, kind of like a party last night near where we camped out. And this morning, man, everybody is out. This place, I can just look around and see backpackers, climbers, people out hiking. They're just swarming the place. It's just absolutely perfect weather. And yeah, just a really, really interesting way to start the day. Wake up and took like a almost 3-mile walk, and then got back to the van and made some oatmeal, made some coffee, and thought, you know, I don't have to work today. I really, really should vlog and just do kind of like a catch up on where things are. So my first update, I guess, is I have been on submission now for a full 2 weeks. Have not heard a peep, as to be expected. I mean, and that could go on for who knows how long. I know things are slow right now, and all of this, like all of these other changes in doing this travel stuff, is done a great job of taking my mind off it. Like, I have not been thinking about being on submission much at all, which is nice, because in the past, especially in my earlier days, oh my god, every day just obsessively checking my email and thinking about it. And it's nice to kind of be free from that. Of course, fingers are still crossed that I get some good news at some point before the holidays. That would be really, really great. As far as projects go, so work-wise, I'm, you know, the book packager stuff is really busy, but in a really great way. I've kind of got 2 projects going at the moment where I'm auditioning writers for one. They're in the middle of that, and we're gonna have a writer really soon for it. And then the other one is we're in the process of looking for writers to audition, so that's gonna get going really soon, which is just a really fun part of the process to be in. And so that's going great. I've got a ghostwriting client that the draft is due by the end of the year. We've already got a solid outline. It's a rom-com, so it's nice, it's just like a light, fun, I mean, it's a rom-com. It's really fun. It's a nice thing to work on, and a great client. And so that's going really good. And I got some words on the road thanks to my Alpha Smart, which, by the way, I have not vlogged about my Alpha Smart in, I feel like, probably over a year. But that thing truly is indestructible. It had sat in my office in my apartment in Dallas, never charged it for a solid year, probably more, without me using it. And I pulled it out on the road like a couple days ago and turned it on. Still totally worked. I got a good 700 words in, I think, and then transferred it over to Scrivener. Worked perfectly. Battery still totally full. Those things truly would survive the apocalypse. I'm not kidding. Anyway, Alpha Smart's great. So I'm getting my use out of that thing again. What other work I've got going on? The Thriller. Okay, so NaNoWriMo has started, and I am so not doing it. Back when I said my goal was to kind of not participate in Nano, but channel that energy and write a lot of this thriller, I knew that this van adventure thing was coming. And it's like any move. When you move apartments, move houses, move cities, move states, whatever, it just takes up a lot of time, and I just underestimated how much of a kind of a time suck getting used to a new way of life would be. And so the Thriller is kind of, I don't even want to say on pause, but I do have a full synopsis of it, and I'm ready to start writing it. My plan had been to be able to start writing the draft November 1st, and I was there. I did all the prep. I just haven't started writing. So I don't know about having a draft by the end of the year. I might be okay with saying I could get a sloppy 0 draft by the end of the year, because I don't have like a scene by scene outline deliberately. I didn't want to do it that way this time. And part of the appeal of this book for me is that it's a first person, one POV, straight shot thriller. Like she gets accused of murder at the beginning of the book and is on the run and trying to clear her name the whole book. Like, it's very simple, to the point. I kind of want to try not pantsing this, because again, I have like I think like an 8-page synopsis. I know what the story is, but like letting myself play with every scene and just seeing where it goes. I'm okay with the prose being absolute garbage. And yeah, so if I feel like I'm more settled into my work routine this week, in terms of both the book packager stuff and my ghostwriting stuff, then I'm gonna pull out the Alpha Smart, I think, and start just trying to get some words in on that and see where it goes. But I have not started yet. So that is my update. So I think what I want to try to do is vlog the next couple of days, and as I settle into this new routine and kind of share a little bit more about what I'm working on with you guys. Basically, it's going to be all the same stuff that I always talk about, but we're going to have a little bit of a change of scenery, different background. So yeah, let's do this. So if you've ever moved, whether it's, moved from one apartment to another, moved to another city or town or another state, or, internationally, you know that changes in your life routines obviously are going to lead to changes in your writing routines. And before I get into this, I want to say nothing about being in this van, so far at least, is anything that I would describe as inconvenient. I mean, we've got a full kitchen, a toilet, a shower, a bed. It's fully climate controlled. It's a mini apartment on wheels. So it's not inconvenient, but most things like just, making coffee, making the bed, things like that, just take a few more steps now than they did. They are slightly less convenient than they were in an apartment or in a house. And what I like about this is that it kind of forces me to slow down and be more mindful, which I've wanted to do and I've known I've needed to do for a long time, but I guess I just needed some kind of external pressure to do so, because I was never able to do it myself. Flexibility when you're living on the road is absolutely essential. I've talked in the past about how, I think it's great to establish a writing routine, especially if you're just starting out. The thing is, you can get yourself in trouble really fast if you allow your brain to convince you that you can't write unless the parameters are all perfect. It's this time of day, in this particular zone you've carved out for yourself, with this music playing and no distractions, and etc., etc. Because we all know that we can do our best to try to set that up for ourselves, and some days we get it, but not all days are going to be like that. And at the end of it all, words have to come, right? And as far as being in this van goes, the thing is, I really want to enjoy and soak in being in all of these different locations. And, a lot depends on, for example, what's the weather doing right now? Is it nice at this time of day, but it's going to be a kind of a mess later? If I want to get outside and take advantage, I have to be flexible. We've also just had a lot of surprises come up, like not one, but 2 Barnes & Nobles in Idaho, one in Boise and one in Twin Falls, that had my books. I don't know why this was, seriously a big surprise to me. I think it's because, Barnes & Noble has just been a little bit tough lately to get your books into. Mine are paperbacks, so I think that does make it a little easier, but I digress. They had my books, so we made the stop, and both of them, and I went in, and signed copies are there, by the way. If you are in Boise or Twin Falls, please stop by. But that paled in comparison to one of the biggest surprises, at least to me, which was when we stopped at a mall, a very ordinary mall, the kind you would see anywhere in this country, to grab something at Best Buy. And while Josh was in there, I took Rosa out and discovered literally right behind the mall, behind the parking lot, is a full-on canyon complete with this long walking trail and benches to just sit and stare at the waterfalls. And yeah, whatever plans I had for the next hour kind of went out the window because it was like, well, we're gonna walk this. This is incredible. We get it, Idaho. You're pretty. Flexibility also comes in when, as our location changes, so do things like the power supply, the water supply, and our access to those things. And most importantly for me in terms of work and writing, reception and Wi-Fi. If we're staying at a truck stop or a rest stop or a Love's, it's going to be great. Campsites and BLM land, some have had absolutely stellar reception, and some it's been kind of spotty, and in one or two it just hasn't worked at all. That means sometimes I'm not working so much in the mornings and I have to do more work in the afternoons, which if you've been around on my channel for a while, that's not what I'm used to doing. I've had it in my head that, and I've been telling myself the story that I write best in the morning. I am most creative in the morning. The morning is when I do my best work. And I've just kind of had to accept that, I can make that happen if I want to. I can get up and write every morning. I can write when we're actually moving. I can write if we don't have great reception. I can write if the weather is perfect for a hike and there's a canyon beckoning, but I need to get the words down. I can do that, but I don't know. It's like a choice. I think I'm choosing not to do that anymore. I'm choosing to kind of go with the flow a little bit and work at hours I'm not used to working at sometimes. And so I can take advantage of, these nice surprises when they come up. This has also really forced me to be honest about how much I'm working, as in how many hours a day do I actually spend writing. I've started setting a timer to count down when I'm actually writing in a document, whether it's outlining, drafting, brainstorming, anything that's actually getting words on any project of any sort. I am not doing the timer for things like work emails, chatting in Slack with my coworkers, Zoom meetings with clients or the book packager team, nothing like that. Just the actual writing. And here's the truth, and I'm almost embarrassed to admit this, seeing as I do this full time, but I actually write less than 2 hours every day. When I'm really honest, and I mean, if my fingers aren't moving, I pause that timer, even if it's just to grab some water. That's how much I'm actually working. It's less than 2 hours. And so far, setting this timer is working. I just started counting down from 2 hours, and I'm getting done what needs to be done. That realization has kind of mentally freed me up and made me more open to the idea of, well, I don't always like to work later in the afternoon, especially in the evening, but look, there's only 15 minutes left on my timer. I can sneak it in after dinner. That's not that big a deal, and it's really not. And that brings us to Friday, where we found a little, well, not little, a BLM spot. BLM, by the way, meaning Bureau of Land Management, not the other BLM, which is basically free grounds that you can camp on. We camped out there, had a nice dinner last night, did some walking, and I woke up. We have great reception out here, and Wi-Fi is really strong, so Friday morning, this morning, I had a meeting with the book packager team at 8, and that went really great. It lasted about an hour, and it was just really kind of fun to get off that meeting and be like, you know what, I'm gonna go for a walk. I hesitate to call it a hike. There were some hills involved. There's just this kind of little, I don't know what to call it. It's like a incredibly tiny canyon that we're parked nearby, and we took a walk down there to scope it out and see what was down there. The answer was a bunch of rocks and gun shells. So many shells all over the place. People like to do target practice out there apparently because there isn't anything to actually hunt out here. There's nothing. So it was just nice to have that walk, and it's been really cool every single day to just not wake up someplace new every single day, but many days just here we are in a new location. So every walk is a little bit different. There's stuff to explore. As you can see, Rosa here has been absolutely loving sitting in the front seat and just staring out the window. I don't know, it's like she's waiting for bison or something to come strolling up. She's just on alert. But after that, we came back, had some breakfast, and made some coffee, and I got to work on a ghostwriting project and some other book packager stuff, and yeah, we took another hike and had some lunch, and now I'm doing the same thing. It's been a very peaceful day, and I think I'm gonna wrap this vlog up here. So that was just a full week, kind of showing a little bit of what my new schedule, I don't even know if I can call it a schedule, what's going on right now. I will say this, I have found it difficult to remember to vlog when there's already so many other things that I'm trying to get used to. So vlogs may continue to be a little bit sporadic. I really want to say I'm committing to one per week, but right now I'm sitting here thinking, God, I took so much B-roll, this is gonna take me forever to edit, so I don't know, we'll see. I would love to do one a week. But anyway, that's gonna be it for now. I hope you guys are doing great. If you're doing NaNoWriMo, or if you're not, just tell me how your writing's going in general, nano or no nano, in the comments down below. And yeah, I will see you hopefully soon with another video. Bye!